Hey, what's up guys, I'm Praetorian and welcome back to Imperator Rome as we are playing as the Roman Republic. So as I stated last episode, in today's video we're going to start out with a historical lecture. We haven't had one in about 10 or 11 videos. This one is going to be focused on the Roman conquest of Greece. Remember, if you're not interested in hearing the lecture and you just want to skip straight to the gameplay where we'll be attacking Macedonia, which is why this lecture is relevant for today's episode. If you just want to skip straight to the gameplay, there'll be a pinned comment with a timestamp that will allow you to do so. I really feel like the Roman wars here in Greece are a perfect example to show that the Roman Republic at this time was really not all that interested in expansion, wasn't really that interested in building an empire. Most of their conflicts, again, were more about Roman interest and the interest of their allies, and they weren't really looking to expand and conquer new territory. Now, just for a little bit of context of the situation here in Greece, you of course have Macedonia. They are the dominant power. You know, they don't look like this at the time. They control all this area here. They have some interest over here in Asia Minor, obviously all through Thessaly, and lots of territory here in Greece as well, particularly here. This is kind of considered their stronghold at the time. But yeah, a lot of territory here. You have an independent Athens, here in Attica. They're independent, though, they obviously recognize Macedonian superiority. So you have Athens here largely independent. You also had two large leagues of city-states here in Greece. You have the Atolian League, and I might be mispronouncing both of these. I'm like terrible with Greek. But you have the Atolian League, which is right up here, and then you had the Achaean League, which was initially right here, and then you had Sparta with all their lands, but eventually they annexed Sparta, and so they would come to dominate the entire Peloponnesian Peninsula. So at the point that we're going to be starting here, when the Romans and the Macedonians came into conflict, the Macedonian kings had for over 100 years now been focusing on trying to exert their control over the rest of Greece. Of course, you have Philip II, Philip the One-Eyed, the father of Alexander the Great. He came through here and, dominated the Greeks, and then obviously his son did as well. He had to quickly come down here and put down a rebellion. And the Macedonians, for, the next 100 or so years, have been trying to do the same thing with varying degrees of success. And so the king at this time, where we're going to be starting here, which is in the late 3rd century BCE, the king of Macedonia is Philip V. So we'll be returning here to Greece here for the next conflict between Rome and Macedonia, because the first conflict was not really over Greece here. It was in fact over this region right here, Illyria. So the Romans had a client kingdom here, and there's a lot of background to this area and the Roman involvement here, which we just don't have time to go into. So for the purpose of brevity, we'll just say that there was a previous king here who was once a client of Rome, who found himself in Philip's court, and he played a role in convincing Philip to invade Illyria, saying that the Romans would not be able to defend it. And one other reason why Philip was convinced that this would be true was the fact that, if you guys recall, Rome is involved in the Second Punic War at this point. Hannibal has already invaded Italy and achieved several victories. And so because of those victories, he believed Rome was, on the decline. Rome was being defeated, and there's no way that with them having to defend their homeland here, that they would be able to defend their client kingdom. And so he proposed an alliance with Carthage. So there was no provision that we know of for him to actually invade Italy and assist Hannibal. I don't think you really can argue that there's any serious effort or belief that Macedonia would be able to invade Italy, considering by the Second Punic War, the Roman navy did, dominate the seas here. Carthage was really no longer able to compete with them. So the idea that he would be able to invade Italy is very, very unlikely. Some people argue that after his invasion of Illyria, if he had been successful here, then he would have been able to maybe kind of rapidly get across or maybe sneak across over to there. It's probably unlikely, though. He did not have much of a navy. He tried building one, but wasn't able to build a very large one or a very good one. So it wasn't likely that he was going to invade. Really, I think the Carthaginians just wanted somebody to distract the Romans. So he invaded and had some initial success, but he was never able to really achieve ultimate victory here. The Romans didn't do much to fight against them. There were some skirmishes between the Romans and the Macedonians, but really the Romans didn't, fight that much in the First Macedonian War. Is more like their client kingdoms and tribes that were doing most of the fighting over here. Now again, some people do argue that because Philip was never successful here, that's the reason why he didn't do the invasion. We'll never know. We'll never know what would have happened if he had won here and had achieved victory of what would have happened. But basically, the war was very, very minor, essentially, and it ended inconclusively. There's a peace treaty. Nothing really happened there. But what's important is the effect that had. The Romans never really forgave Philip for that. They always kind of looked at him as a potential enemy after he allied with Carthage, and there was certainly a little bit of a revenge factor as well in future conflicts with Philip, trying to get revenge for his alliance. And I don't really think the Romans saw Macedonia as a threat until Philip allied with their arch rival. So I think Philip's involvement in the Second Punic War played a major factor in why the Romans found themselves getting more and more involved in Greek politics. Now, the Second Macedonian War, so that's the second conflict between Rome and Macedon, would have a lot more actual fighting between the two powers. So this one's, again, very complicated how it started, and again, we only have so much time here, but basically it was about Rome's allies. Philip invaded Asia Minor. Rome had several allies here in the area, and they were concerned about Philip's invasion here. He was very careful. He didn't attack any of Rome's allies. In fact, most of the land he was taking was former Egyptian territory because Egypt was actually on the decline. And that's the second element of how this war began. So at this point, you really only have the three successor states. You have Macedonia, you have the Seleucids, and then you have Ptolemy Egypt. Now in the beginning of the game, there's a fourth power here, and that's the Antigonids. The Antigonids are, at this point in our history, ruling Macedon. So they're not gone. They are the dynasty that is ruling Macedonia. So Philip V is a member of the Antigonid dynasty. Out of the three successor kingdoms, the Seleucid Empire here is the one that is just absolutely dominating. They're doing very, very well. They were the closest to achieving, the dream of recreating Alexander's empire, and they were now in the process of attacking the Egyptians. So they were very, very successful against the Egyptians. There's a lot of conflict between the two of them, and Egypt was again very much on the decline, especially with their new ruler, who was a baby, a child. And with the new child king, Egypt's on the decline, so Macedonia is taking advantage of that and attacking their territories here in Asia Minor, as well as other independent countries here, smaller independent countries throughout the region. So the Egyptians contacted the Romans, try to open up a diplomatic channel, and eventually Egypt would become a client kingdom of Rome. Of course, they're not at that level just yet, but they're starting to have a beginning relationship, a little bit of an alliance here. And then you also have several other allies here in Asia Minor and eventually in Greece. So while Philip is off in war here in Asia Minor, Athens attacks Macedonia. Now again, many reasons for why they did that we can't go into. Point is, Athens attacks them, and this becomes another potential ally of Rome. Eventually the Athenians contact the Romans and look for an alliance. So now you've got a total of, I think, 5. I think there's 5 Roman client kingdoms and allies that are currently at war with Macedonia, so of course Rome has got to get involved now. So the Roman consuls invade, so they landed a couple different locations. There's here, and then they also landed here in this island and eventually came over to here. And so from those points, the Romans invaded into Thessaly. Now Philip did come back he actually came here to Athens. He actually took over Attica here. The Athenians had to retreat over to Corinth. And again, I can't really go into the full details here, but the Romans, they attacked into Thessaly. They won several victories, and that did result in Philip seeking peace with the Romans. And it was a devastating peace for Philip. He had to give up all his territories in Asia Minor and in Greece here outside of Thessaly. He did get to keep here as well, I believe. He had to give up all the rest of the territories he had here. He had to give up his territories in Asia Minor. And he had to give up the territories up along the edges here of Illyria as well. So Rome became significantly more powerful, but not directly. Rome didn't actually gain any lands from this conflict. Instead, they gained allies and more client kingdoms and client cities. So while they did not directly take control of any territory, they did garrison several key areas, including the city of Corinth. They did send a garrison there. The key here was the idea of the freedom of the Greeks, which is what the Romans said that they aspired to. They wanted the Greeks to be completely free of any outside powers. They did not seek to control them directly. And really, while this kind of seems like propaganda, based on what the Romans did, it seems like that's exactly what their goal was. In fact, it seems like they didn't want to get any more involved in Greece than they already were. They were hoping that with the destruction of Macedonian power in Greece and the fact that Egypt was no longer involved here either, and they had to kind of put the Seleucids on notice that, hey, Greece is no longer open for business, open for conquest. They were expecting that with no influence from outside powers, that Greece would stabilize and they wouldn't have to get involved here anymore, which of course was silly to think about because the Greeks had been fighting each other throughout almost their entire history by this point. Of course, peace did not last long, as you'd expect. The Greek successor state of Seleucids did what all the successor states do, and they invaded Greece. So they thought that they could, defeat the Romans. They didn't really have any respect for them. So they invaded Greece, attacked the Roman allies, and Rome was forced into war with the Seleucid kingdom. And the gist of that conflict is that the Romans won. One of the interesting aspects, though, is that there was a battle of Thermopylae, the same place that the 300 Spartans, as well as thousands of other Greeks that nobody talks about, but the 300 Spartans, made a stand against the Persians and were defeated, but, took a bunch of Persians down with them. But the Romans actually fought the Seleucids there, and they tried to use the same tactics that the Spartans used, trying to use the gates to limit the Roman advantage of manpower, which, while the Seleucids had probably, a similar size army as the Romans did, they did not have those numbers here in Greece at the time. The Romans actually had more troops when you counted all of the allies that they had. So like the Spartans, they tried to use the gates at Thermopylae to defeat a greater power, and just like the Spartans, they were not successful in that. So while those first three conflicts between the Romans and the Greek successor states, the First and Second Macedonian War, and then the war with the Seleucids, all happened within a few years of each other. They all happened, a couple, 3 to 4 years, whatever, after the last one ended. There was a period of peace for well over a decade after the war with the Seleucids. Rome seemed to have achieved peace here, but of course that peace did not last. Philip V would die, and his son Perseus would take over as king. And he was a very ambitious man who, again, like all Macedonian kings, sought to extend his influence over Greece. Eventually, him and Rome came into conflict. Again, lots of things happened that result in that conflict, including things that happened before he was even the king. But yeah, one thing he did was he assassinated a Roman official. He did quite a few things that irritated Rome, and eventually resulted in conflict, again, between Macedonia and Rome, which would be the Third Macedonian War. So while the war would take place over several years, the basics are Rome invaded Macedonia, not just Thessaly as they did before, but also Macedonia proper, and they achieved victory. And Rome had finally given up on their hopes that they would be able to just let Greece alone and not have to come here and not have to actually directly control the territory. They've already done this multiple times now. They split Macedonia up into several different client kingdoms, all of which they eventually annexed. The king, Perseus, would be remembered as the last king of the Antigonid dynasty, because he did have a son, but both Perseus and his son were taken captive. Perseus would die in captivity, he'd be killed. His son would eventually be released and would become a member of Roman society. He'd never rule again, though. He never had any real position of authority after that. So at the end of the Third Macedonian War, Rome now, either directly rules or rules through client kingdoms all this area right here. So this is all under Roman control here, and even the rest of Greece at least recognizes Roman supremacy. Well, everything seems to be great. Rome seems to have achieved victory here, but there's actually a fourth Macedonian War. That was a pretender who rose up and said he was the son of Perseus. He was not. But he claimed to be, and that created a short conflict. And this is several decades, almost 2 decades, I think, after the Third Macedonian War. So it was quite some time of relative peace here, as much peace as you can get in Greece before this happened. And this, of course, then resulted in the Atolian League here, which again is not under Roman control. While they do recognize their supremacy, they're not a client kingdom. They don't pay Rome any money. They were very unhappy about the situation here. They felt like they had just replaced Macedonia with Rome, and thus they rebelled, so to speak. Again, they're not under them, but Rome looked at it as a rebellion, and that resulted in a war between Rome and them, and of course the pretender. So Rome wins this conflict, and as a lesson to the Greeks, this is when they completely destroy the city of Corinth. It's in fact the year 146 BCE that they destroyed the city, which is the same year that they destroyed the city of Carthage. So they completely conquer all of Greece. They divide it into several provinces. I think it's 2 Roman provinces here. It might be 3. But they divide it into several Roman provinces and, appoint governors, and they officially annex it, directly control it. And now all of Greece, all Macedonia, are directly under the ownership of Rome. Now, one of the significant effects of this, legacies of this, besides obviously the Roman conquest of Greece, is that these wars resulted in the Romans getting more and more involved here in Asia Minor. We talked about this in a previous video, how the Punic Wars, played a role in getting Rome involved here in Greece, because of course the alliance between Macedonia and Carthage kind of was the initial opening of conflict between the Greeks and the Romans, outside of the Italian and the Italian peninsula and Sicily, because obviously they were fighting Greeks throughout here for many years. But the first time they came over here and really fought them was because of that alliance. And then, of course, the conquest of Greece then resulted in them getting involved in Asia Minor, and eventually they conquered that as well. So you can kind of see how that kind of snowballed. And then, of course, they find themselves at war here in the Middle East as well. So just kind of slowly resulted in them gaining their empire. Now, again, I think the key here, though, is that they tried multiple times to not directly manage Greece. They tried not to actually conquer it and make it into a province, even though they could have. They had the power to do so, and there's nothing really stopping them from doing so, and yet they decided not to. I feel like that's a real good example to show that Rome was not seeking to build this big old massive empire. They were really looking after their own interest, and they mostly fought those that attacked them and those that attacked their allies. And the allies that they had a lot of times did get them enveloped in these conflicts. But I'm going to have to butcher this lecture because, oh my god, this is way too long. I went into too much detail, and I don't know what you guys will be seeing after I do all the cuts, but even with as little detail as I had in here, man, that was way too long. So I'm going to have to do a lot of cuts. So sorry for all the cuts you guys are going to see. It's going to be all over the place probably because, yeah, I gotta cut this down significantly. So let's go and get started in today's episode, and I'll try and make it as long as possible, guys. But this video, again, it'll be much shorter at this point, but for you guys are watching. But for me, I've been recording for a while now. So we got all of our armies here. We're already ready to declare war. I don't know that there was anything we were going to wait on unless we wanted to get the experience up, though it's not really necessary. I suppose we could wait a few months here before we declare war. But we are paying for all of our troops, so we don't want to wait too long. And there's really no reason to wait either. We already have our fleets here and everything. Yeah, we'll probably go to war here now on April 1st, April Fool's Day. I like in Hoi 4, I try and declare war on April 1st if I can. It's like it's a method of trickery, and nobody expects that it's real. Of course, April 1st, I don't know the history of it, but I highly doubt that it was a thing here at this time. But let's go and get our armies ready, guys. I don't think we're going to want to keep them all together like this. It's going to be really hard to find locations for 20,000 men to sit, as you can see. There's really not hardly any places where we're not going to take some attrition. Yeah, really none. So we're going to go ahead and split these guys up. Now, I don't know what our current situation is for the legions. If all the leaders are currently, you know, people here that we're just using for families, or that's what it seems like. Okay, so what we're probably going to do is get some new characters here. And we actually have two minor characters here, which are both level 9 martial, which is better than everybody except for, you know, our main legate here. But easily better than this guy. He's only level 8, and I don't think he has any positive traits. We got the brave, and we got the competent. So I think we'll probably have this guy here. Yeah, let's put him here, and then put him here. So that we'll have two decent commanders in both of these legions, so we can split them if need be. Now, I'm going to see if I have to split them, because I won't if we don't have to. Yeah, we will have to split them. We're not going to be able to fit in any of these areas. So let's just go ahead and split them into two. Yeah, I think we're going to split them in two, and because I don't know how they're going to split them, we'll have to do it ourselves. All right, so this is how we're going to split these. I didn't split them exactly half and half, because I realized we would probably want to keep those engineers here for like a sieging one. So we got 9,500 here, and whatever would be in this one, 11,000 over here, so that's fine. But we do want to make sure that the larger one is being commanded by the better general. And this guy's not that great, so we'll put him in charge over here. Over here, we're going to want to do the same thing, although I might split these guys up a little bit differently. Yeah, maybe just do 5,000. Yeah, we'll do 5,000 size army for this one. These guys do have the elephants over here as well. So let's just give them one supply wagon here. We're not going to give them any of those. And then maybe just a couple archers. And just try and get them up to, how many of the cav do we have? Like 2 of those. And just try and get them up to about 5,000 here. So we're about halfway there. So I think the rest of these are going to need to be legions. Heavy infantry, I should say. So yeah, there we go. Beautiful. So that should be 5,000 there. 15,000 in the other one. And then we need to split these guys up as well. And we'll probably want to do it, yeah, just send like all the light infantry in one, and then we'll see how large that is. That's 17,500. That leaves 16,400 over here. So we could use these guys for sieges. But you know what? I'm going to redo this a little bit because we could actually split these even further. So let's go ahead and give them some horsies and some of the supply wagons here. Alright, so this will be this army here, about 12,000 once they, you know, replace those losses here. And they're largely going to be heavy infantry, so that we have a good levy army here. And then we're going to want to split this one up even further. 22,000 obviously is far more than needed here. And you know what? I think we're just going to do the split in half here. Yeah, I think that'll work out fine for these guys. Alright, so let's go and figure out where we want to send everybody. Obviously, we have a siege here to be done, but we do need to declare war first. So that'll be easier for us to look at the diplomacy situation. And we're going to go... Which one do we want more? I guess this one connects. I mean, we'll probably try and go after all of them, but yeah, let's go for that one. And we're going to get 5 approval from the Populares faction. And I didn't take a look at the alliances. I meant to do this last episode, and then I never did. We looked at the subjects. We didn't look to see if they had any allies. Now, I assume that they don't because of their ranking. Yeah, they don't have any. All right, so that was a good assumption. So let's go and declare war. And we're no longer going to get any of the trade goods. Yeah, that's right. I forgot we were trading very heavily with the Macedonians. Yeah. Alright, so that's the trade situation here, guys. It's pretty bad. So how many did we lose in the capital? A lot. Wow. Alright, so I didn't realize just how much we were trading with the Macedonians, but we were trading with them a lot. So we're going to have to go through here. We'll have to let this update, so we won't mess with it just yet. We'll let it update, and then I'll figure out what we're lacking, and we'll set up those trade routes, because yeah, this is 7 trade routes. So our money is going to get hit really hard here. So fort maintenance already up. Everything's good to go. We want to keep our fleets together for now, because remember, they have a large fleet themselves. So right now we'll want to keep them together. But we are going to try and engage the Macedonians if we can. And I might just merge them and have one big old doom fleet here. So let's go and stop training if these guys still are. They are not. And let's go and start the attack. So we're not going to be able to get past this fort. Oh wait, know what? We could probably get past this fort. But we don't want to split our armies up. So let's go and take the sieging army that we set up, which would be these guys. Have them do the attack. And even though I split them in 2, we'll probably keep them close together just because I don't know what size armies the enemy will be rocking. So let's go and take these 15,000, and then they're going to come. I almost want to go after that capital location. I guess we'll go after this fort first. Yeah, we'll go after the fort here, though. I think... No, we'll have these guys take care of all this stuff here. Yeah, we'll use the Legion for this. They'll go ahead and take the fort here, and this 5,000 will sit nearby in order to support them. With these guys, remember we have 3 armies. One of them will be for fighting, while the other 2 will be used for sieges. Let's go ahead and use these guys over here, and we might need to go ahead and ask for access here from the Egyptians, or we can just send our troops across here. I think the easiest way would probably, rather than have to put them in ships and stuff, is to just ask them for access, which they're going to say no. Okay, so that's an option then. So in that case, let's keep these guys in port, and then we're going to want to embark them. And then we'll bring them out, and they can just attack that way. That works out fine. So with the other sieging army, we're going to want them to go after any other forts. Let's just take a look at the fort situation. All right, so we got one there. We can use those guys when they're done in Corinth to come take that location. I think that's it for forts. Yeah, that's it for forts. All right, excellent. So we can expect that the Macedonians will probably be coming from their territory in the north. So what we're going to do is have these guys up here prepared to react to wherever we might need them. Can't really invade until after we're done with the forts here, unless these guys are successful here without too many issues, and they're going to go ahead and go after the capital there. We do need to turn this down a notch. And we did kill 1,800 troops. That was here, where we did that siege. Let's go and get these troops and get them attacking Corinth. And I don't know what month this... We started April 1st, so we got one more month, and then we'll take a look at the trade route situation. But yeah, we're not going to rush our troops in, just because I do expect them to have large armies. So I don't know if there were any conflicts at the time that we attacked them, were they? Oh, yeah. They're currently involved in a war with Egypt. Interesting. So yeah, they're already at war with the Egyptians right now. So let's go ahead and get the capital trade route situation fixed. Ooh, okay, it might not be quite as difficult just because we can see here we only lost 1 trade good on most of these, so we can easily see what we need. So let's go over the fish first. This one will be pretty easy to get. Maybe not trade with the Egyptians, or anybody who might have a future conflict with. I mean, we're probably going to have a future conflict with all these guys though, aren't we? So we got the fish. We need the dyes now. And we will trade with... Yeah, I guess we'll have to trade with them. We need the glass. So let's find that. Get trade route set up for that. And precious metals. Looks like there's nothing available for the precious metals. Okay, that's unfortunate. Maybe something will pop up soon. So we'll leave a trade route open for that. We need the hemp. Let's go So I'll get that set up. We can always trade for our own hemp too, and many of these other trade goods. We did have options to trade for our own stuff. So that's it. Now we know that the precious metals is the one thing lacking, but there's one trade good here where we're getting both of our trade goods from the Macedonians, and so I have to figure out which one that is because I don't actually know. So let's just kind of, oh, was it papyrus? Because we were getting papyrus. Oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah, it was papyrus. Well, maybe we'll get something from this conflict with them. Yeah, I think that's the only thing that we don't have access to that we used to. We can go for incense for now, though. Do we have any more trade routes open? Because if we do... Oh, it doesn't matter. There's no incense to trade for. We do have one still open. We're just going to leave that one open. It's fine, guys. Now, we might want to set up some of these trade routes. This is tedious. But as you can see, we lost a lot of trade routes, guys. Oh, yeah, it's bad. It's got to get done, though. We got to fix some of these. Now, we could do the automatic trading, but man, they always trade for the damn food, and like the food's just not helpful. Like, you need happiness. Like in this area, you can see everybody hates us, so it's very clear what we should be trading for here, but they won't trade for it. So we'll get the nobles pumped up a bit. Maybe only do one for the nobles here in this location. Yeah, but this is all something I've been doing off camera, guys, just because it's tedious doing each province and all of their trade routes. See, I've been trying to do this off camera. Ah, man, in this particular case, I feel like we can't wait because, you know, we have the rebellion issues here. So we absolutely have to get the happiness up. Let's do something for citizens here. And maybe for the freemen as well. There's always lots of wine to be had. And yeah, we're going to get another one for the freemen. Not really paying attention to where we're trading from here. Just trying to get some trade routes set up. And probably definitely want to go with the citizens here. Because they are very unhappy. Here's another location where citizens are unhappy. So we'll trade something to boost that happiness up. Yeah, this area, another one, guys. These are all places where we have the happiness issue, so I just don't feel like we can leave them be. Is there anything for the citizens here? Yep, we got something from Egypt. Okay, so that'll work. Over here is all good. Okay, but you can see our lands are not so good. In fact, we should probably focus up here on the north where we are having some issues. Just a few. These guys are pretty happy overall, but they are not. So I don't think we have anything for citizens now at this point. Yep, there's spices. Are we getting the bonuses for spices? We are. Just want to make sure that is the case. Over here, let's go for jumping for the freemen. Yeah, we're not going to have any war in this episode, guys. Just going to be all setting up trade rounds. I didn't realize, though. It almost makes you think we shouldn't have attacked Macedonia, huh? So let's go. I don't think there's anything for the citizens left. So we'll just go for something for the freemen. Getting lots of stuff for them. This is a very helpful trade route, by the way, guys. Or excuse me, map mode. Very helpful full map mode. Finding locations where you need to set up trade routes. Let's go for hemp here. Yeah, I did not know we were trading with them this much. That was not like we were just not going to attack Macedonia. And these areas aren't as important for us to get set up unless they're losing loyalty. And maybe we'll just get one here, something for the citizens, or excuse me, for the freemen. And yeah, unless we're losing loyalty, which we are, in this one. So if we're losing loyalty, we'll get them set up. Otherwise, I'm not going to mess with it. Since I'd like to actually fight this war that we started. So what about these guys? Are they losing loyalty? No. Alright, so we're done for right now, guys. That's enough trade routes being set up. Alright, so yeah, we're just doing sieges, and they are about to attack us right here. 12,000 men. They feel confident enough to attack us here. We'll look at that in a minute. They do not have the better general, but they do have a lot of heavy infantry. I'm a little surprised they feel confident enough to attack us there. But what we're going to do is make sure they get locked, and then we'll get involved there with the rest of the Legion here. Maybe they don't know they're there. I don't see how that could be the case, though. So the siege of this one is this one here. So let's now go after the capital location here. Bring these guys up behind them. And waiting for these guys here to get locked. And they want to trade for salt. We'll go and accept that. And let's see. I feel like we need to let the men roam freely here. So with that taken, this will flip all this here. Let me see where all else we are fighting against. So we can bounce up across here, and I think we will with this army, and go ahead and try and take over these areas here, since we do have that little island there. Doesn't look like there's any forts here immediately. So yeah, we'll go ahead and send these guys, although I am tempted to send them up here. We're going to send them this way. Let's go after that capital location. Get all that wrapped up. So we're waiting for these guys to get locked. There we go. Let's go ahead and assist them. I think we would have won that battle even without the 9,500 men, but we'll do it anyway. Let's go ahead and have... We don't need these guys, the Legion attacking right there. Let's actually have the Legion... Oh, that's why they felt confident. Because they have 24,000 men right there. Okay. Well, that's interesting. Let's send these guys over here. I don't know if we'll actually use them there. We'll see. We'll see if we need them. Because they slightly outnumber us. But they also have a bunch of light infantry. And they have a shittier general. And we're Rome. So we're just better than them. So yeah, these guys are going to join them here. We're going to merge all those together again. Just for right now. So yeah, these guys are going to be attacking over here. Let's see that we would easily win that initial conflict. Once they join with... Yeah, they're still going to attack there. So yeah, we're going to get to kind of maul those men before the next 12,000 come. Yeah, I feel pretty good. I don't think we're going to need these guys at all, honestly. Let's go and take these 5,000, have them march over to here. These guys here will take this location. And the battle is done. We lost 2,900. They lost a little over 5,300. And of course, this is against our cruddier legion. These guys are not quite as good. They don't have the better general there. So now it's going to be 12,000 against whatever we currently have still left. So I feel like we do not need to use these 15,000, so we're going to push up north instead. There was an accident here, so we have to choose how to react to that and compensate the owners and ensure decent work conditions. I feel like we've had this event before, so that's why I'm not going to read it. If we do that, then our consul's going to get popularity. This character here, he's the governor. He's going to get loyalty, but we have to spend a stupid amount of money. It does increase the happiness there, and that's a location where we need happiness. Yeah, so that is helpful. That slave, of course, died. We can say we only cover the repair costs. He'll still get loyalty. It's only slave happiness, though, isn't it? Yes, that's not really that important, honestly. There will be no handouts. That's just a negative. Or we can say this, because of our really good character, for pity's sake, seize their property and compensate the slaves. We're gonna do this one here, guys, just because this one's a little bit too expensive. So we'll do that one. Alright, so these guys are taking that for us. They're going out that way. We're going to send this legion up here. Let's see. Yeah, once you take that, this whole region will go to us. So might as well just go and start sending them forward. And yeah, this will be a nice... well, you know what? This might not be a victory. It's hard to say. Let me take a look at that general there, because it seems like they're doing much better than you'd anticipate. Now, we are getting the -2 for the train, so there is that. But our discipline is so much higher than theirs. It's a little bit surprised. And their general is not great. So yeah, we're getting the one general modifier there. Yeah, I'm not really sure who's going to win this. I kind of feel like we will win it. I think the problem, though, is our morale is much lower since we did just come out of a battle. I'm not going to send any troops to help. If we lose, we lose. I don't think we're going to. I feel we're going to win that. Alright, so let's get the money here. And then with these guys, we'll probably continue to push up north. Now, there are 5,000 men there. You know what? We should probably use these guys down here. Remember, this is the levies that we can use for fighting. We should probably come over here and try and wipe out that 5,500 that are here, though we cannot cross to there. This is not involving us. But can we get access? We can. So I am going to ask for access so that we can attack across. Let's just go here for now. Yeah, just trying to make sure we don't have these 5,000 men behind us. Obviously no good can come of that. Alright, so yeah, the battle is definitely going to be a victory. Which is good. Very good. And I'm wondering where they're going to retreat to. I assume they're going to go up further north here. We lost 3,800, then lost 6,100. So yeah, pretty good victory there, guys. And we could probably sit here just fine now because I think of all the casualties we lost there. We should be alright. Alright, so yeah, lots of conflicts happening at once here. Let's go ahead and merge these two. And yeah, he's a fine commander for a naval commander. Yeah, they are going to go there. Alright, so we'll be able to completely wipe them out. Lovely. Because yeah, the rest of our legion is going there, so that should be a completely wiping them out. So, which battle is this? Oh, is that one already over? They only killed 346? Alright, well that's a bummer. I really thought we were going to wipe them out. Alright, so yeah, these guys are coming up over here. Let's see where we want to go next. These guys are going to come up over to this area. That's going to be their job. This legion is going to be attacking up along that coast and then into Illyria. And this legion, our main legion's job, is going to be going into the Macedonian capital. So we're going to want to attack there because I think that's the next location. And then this place is right after that, and they'll give us control of that. So yeah, we're just going to want to go straight over to that then. Which I assume is where their legions are currently retreating to. Okay, beautiful. And where is this? I don't know that it actually matters. We're just going to let the men roam freely everywhere. Alright, so with that seized, this should give us control here. Now let's go ahead and go after the fortification here. Oh, that's our fortification. I'm looking for, I thought there was one. Yeah, it's right over here. So we actually have to go by sea. Alright, so let's go and have our fleet pick them up. So we can do an invasion there. These guys are still coming over here. And that Corinth. Yeah, that is taking forever. Now, part of the reason, of course, is we're not, well, we are actually blockading them right now. But yeah, that's taking a long time to get that victory. So far the war's going well, but we haven't really faced much of the Macedonian army just yet either. So I would say can't really speak too soon here. But we did get an initial victory against their legions, so that's great. And that was for this siege here. So now, let's go figure out how we want to do this. So we're going to want these guys coming over here. They did take some heavy casualties. It probably wouldn't hurt to, before we attack any further, to just rest a little bit without taking any attrition. Which we can go any of these locations and not take attrition, of course. But you know, let's just go into our own territory for a little bit. And rest up a little bit, because we did take some heavy losses there. So just replace some of those losses. Just for a bit. Alright, so these guys are in the ships. Let's go ahead and bring I keep forgetting. I think it's this one here. Yeah, let's go and bring them over here. So we can do that attack. We can also use the fleet to stop these guys from fleeing if they try and run from our troops here. And I do imagine that we're going to fight them there. Yeah, we're going to fight them right there. So, you know, let's go ahead and send the whole legion into there to make sure we have a number advantage. Alright, so let's go and attack them over here. You know, obviously we'll get the penalty here, but that's fine. Yeah, it's fine. We're going to outnumber them by so much I'm not too worried about. And they have brought their ships out here. Okay. So let's go ahead and attack right here. And grab that island. If we had taken this island from Thrace in that last war, we would be able to easily get across there. So yeah, just let these guys replace their casualties a bit before we attack up north again. With this battle, we lost under 1,000. They lost 4,300. So very good win there for us. I almost really want to send the 5,000 up here to grab this province, but I know this is... Oh, they can't do it anyway because of the fort. So we'll send them over here then. Okay, so we're doing that battle, and this here is a siege, right? Yeah, that's a siege. So yeah, definitely probably want to have the troops here to make sure we're getting the bonus. Although, I can't tell if they actually have a port there or not. You'd assume they do, but it doesn't look like they do. Alright, so we actually had another election because... Did he die in battle? Yeah, it looks like he died in battle. He must have gotten separated from the main force, and yeah, he ended up dying. So, because of that, we had a drop in instability and had a new election. So we'll have to take a look at our new consul now. He's an older man, and he's cruddy. How surprising. Yeah, he's great. Co-consul's also cruddy. Wow. We sure do great with these consuls, don't we? And the next ones are cruddy as well. I almost want to, like, smear his reputation in the hope of getting rid of him. I would just prefer to have this guy, just because he has the better marshal. At least he'd be good at leading our troops. So we need to replace the governor here. Where are all the governors of this little island, the ones getting elected here? Couldn't tell you. We actually have some really good characters here. But we don't want to put this guy in charge, but you know, this guy has got to be made use of. So let's go ahead and figure out where we want to put this guy, or who we want to put here. Again, I don't really want to put anybody really, really good. But we should probably put a member of our scorned family. So we will do... We're going to do this guy right here, I think. Yeah, we'll do him. We still have a member of the Claudius family that is not happy with us. Alright, well that's okay, because we're going to be changing up all of our, the situation here with all of our researchers. So this guy is as good as the current dude we have. I wish I'd put one of those level 9s there. Over here, this guy's incredibly cruddy. We can do much better than that, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to put him in place there. And I don't know if that, yeah, that irritated the family, but that's okay. Here, I feel like we could probably do better here as well. Oh yeah. Yeah, we could definitely do better. This is from the same family too. Let's go with him. And this guy is also not living up to his potential here. We can get somebody much better here as well. Let's do... I think we're going to just do a level 9 minor character. Yeah, we'll just do one of these two here. See how old they are. We'll do that guy. Alright, so still got some unhappy families that we got to fix the situation with. Let me just take a look and see who's... Oh, there's a lot of unhappy families, aren't there? Yeah, we currently have 2 unhappy families and no families that have more. Alright, so basically too many minor characters is what I'm seeing here. And no real family members to replace them with. I suppose you could replace this guy here with a level 7 family member. That's not going to help us though, because that family is currently appeased. Let's see who's over here. Oh yeah, that's not going to help us either. We might just have to... I think the problem is some of the governors. Yeah, it's got to be the issue, right? We just need more family members as governors. So let's go ahead and replace some of these current governors until we get the families appeased. This is all this area here. Yeah, these guys are fine. So we need a member from the Fabius family. Let's kind of dip through here, and there's got to be somewhere. We're gonna appoint somebody. Not there. How about over here in Greece? Is this a minor character? This is a minor character, and again, they just seem to really drop in quality, don't they? As soon as we point them, they just get cruddy. So we'll place this guy here. Yeah, he works out fine, and he's part of that family. Alright, so we actually need to come over here. I didn't notice that. They attacked us there. And we were able to win this battle here, so that's excellent. I think that does mean that we're done. No. There's one location that did not go under our control here. Why is that? Because that's part of this region here. So that will go into our hands the moment we've taken that province there. Okay, excellent. So let's go ahead and bring these guys up north then, where you can see we could clearly use some assistance here. We're going to let them sit another month before we bring them up. Yeah, this is not looking good here, guys. I'm going to throw my troops into there, but yeah, not looking good overall. We did win the battle. Lost 3,200. They lost 4,900. So yeah, we were able to turn that around, it seems. But we did have to stop our siege, though, so that was disastrous. And we're probably just going to have to keep these guys together, frankly. Because, you know, we have so many things happening right now. I can easily miss little battles like that. Yeah, we'll keep these guys here to help with that siege. Again, kind of giving these guys some time to replace their losses. Alright, these guys are on the retreat. And one more month, guys. One more month, and then we'll send them off. So yeah, we got 3 sieges going on right now. The Corinth one looks like it'll be the first one to be completed. And I'm not entirely sure where the Macedonian fleet is. So far, of their 100 ships, we've seen just like little fleets. And Quintus here is going to lose 20 health. Okay. Had a burglar he had to deal with. I think these guys are just about good here. We're going to give them one more month. Again, just kind of replacing the losses. That's fine. And so these guys are now going to come down. So we have to take that into account. But they're now coming down with 13,000. And I don't know if these guys would be able to win on their own against them. Maybe. They have a lot of archers. Yeah, it's hard to say. I think we'd probably defeat them, especially if we can have them attack us on good terrain. So with that in mind, I'm not going to bother sending these guys over there. We're going to go and start with this siege, because I want to keep these guys defended. So let's go and have them go over here. They'll be able to be in neighboring provinces and support each other. So we did get the religious advances. That was the last one we needed to get, and we've been going pretty slow on the religious advances comparatively. And a big part of that is because our crappiest researcher seems to always be on the religious ones. So I remember last time we just grabbed something real quick. I think we just got that one, the unintegrated culture group happiness. You know what, guys? I think we're going to take a break from these because there's so much other stuff that I want to get. You know, we got martial advances I've been trying to knock out. There's a lot of these that I'd like to get. Now, I don't remember what we were... Okay, we got the... yeah, that's right. We're going towards those army movement speeds here. Of course, there's the oratory advances, which we've been moving down. This one is not going to help us that much in this conflict, so we're not going to go for that. So we're going to do the martial advance, guys. Having this speed is going to be super helpful. We're going to get that now. Alright, so again, trying to battle this 13,000 with our 11,000 here, hopefully on good terrain. I don't know where they're going to go. In fact, they might actually end up coming over here and fighting this legion. Yeah, that's definitely a possibility. So they'll finish their siege first, in which case we're going to have the fleet go pick them up. Now we got the sacking of Corinth, and I feel like we got to go with this one. Because that's what Rome does. It destroys Corinth. So none shall hide. We're going to sack it. And this is our consul as well. He's going to gain the cruel trait. Just going to give those modifiers. Of course, Rome's going to get 100 gold. Our consul will get 100 gold. And some of these units will become loyal to our character. Alright. So with that, we could just go through here, I suppose. We don't have to have the fleet pick them up, and I guess that's what we'll do. Now, where would we want to send them? Probably over here somewhere. Yeah, to help like with sieges and such. But it's going to take them a little while to walk over there, though not as long as it would have, now that we got those movement modifiers. And it looks like this is where the battle's going to go. We can stop from moving there. It says that we would lose. This is farmland. Obviously, that's not the best place to fight. But these are all very flat lands here. We'll probably want to try and retreat over to the mountains here, if we can. Yeah, we'll try and retreat over there. They could end up coming here and then attacking us. I don't think they'd be able to make it there in time. Again, we might be able to win anyways. Oh, no. That's a decent general. I think that's the reason why they get to win. Look at that general. 14. That's not bad at all. Yeah, I think that's why they get to win. Another 20,000 coming down here that has no interest in fighting our legion there. Alright, so it's probably a good thing we got these guys coming. See, I would try and fight these 13,000 in the mountains here. But one thing I forgot to mention in today's lecture is that one of the reasons why the Romans did so well against the Greeks in these conquests, I mean, they just rolled over them for the most part. Now, they faced some defeats, of course, but overall they did quite well. Big part of that was because the Legion, their style of combat just does so well against the phalanxes of Greece. So they're going to try and avoid us because of that. Yeah, I don't really want to fight them here in the plains either. I'm going to see if we can't get them to attack us there. We do have to worry about that 20,000 coming down, though. That's a problem. We might have to come over here. This has been done. We could always bring the Legion over here, but again, I don't want these guys to get destroyed. That second part of the Legion there. Still waiting for this siege to get done, too. Also, there's 4,000 men floating around here causing us issues. They're going to go back and take that, so we're going to have to use these 11,000 to deal with them. I don't know where those guys came from. Like, did they land with a fleet? They must have. I don't know where else they would have came from. Alright, so yeah, we gotta get them dealt with as well. So really, we just need to get these two here combined and in favorable terrain, and now they're gonna attack us in the mountains. Okay. And because of that good general, they might actually still win. We're gonna actually battle it, though. We're gonna let that happen. Even if it's a loss, it's fine. These guys are just getting closer, so the situation's only gonna get worse there. Let's go and get onto the ships again, and then we'll deal with those 4,000 there. Yeah, where they're coming over here and fighting our legions, or excuse me, fighting our levies, we will find some problems here. Tongue-tied. So we can help this character out, which in case we become friends with him. He actually is okay when it comes to zeal. Yeah, I don't know how that would help, but I don't know why we wouldn't befriend him. There's really no reason not to, other than just to be a jerk. I feel like we might want to. I mean, it's almost done. I suppose we might as well wait. But yeah, I feel like we really need to get the Legion coming down here. I'm also surprised that the war score is so freaking low. Yeah, that's like really low right now. For not having lost any battles, I'm a little surprised with that. Ooh, so we can't go. Oh yeah, we can't go here. But do we need to? And can we do it before that 20,000 comes? And a big part of this, of course, is that, yeah, that really good general modifier, that -2 is completely irrelevant because of that. Another thing we need to take a look at is what we're using here. Because as you can see here, we are currently being countered. Because this army was using, god damn it. Okay, so he's using the phalanx, while we're using the shocks action, which does not do well against the phalanx, of course. So we're going to want something that does do well against the phalanx. The best two would be these ones here. It'd be slightly more effective at that one. You know, let's do the envelopment here for these guys. Yeah, we're going to want to get all these changed up because I didn't really take a look at any of that. These guys are doing bottleneck. Might just keep them doing that since they're pretty effective at it. Yeah, I think we'll probably keep them doing the bottleneck. Let me just take a look at these guys here, see if that's what we want them doing as well. Yeah, we'll do the bottleneck. How about these guys? Yeah, we'll keep them on that as well. And I know we have, obviously those guys can't change them right now. We got these guys though, we can go and take a look at them. And we will do envelopment here as well. Alright, so let's go and send these guys over here. They didn't take that, they actually decided to go this way. Probably trying to meet up with them. So that battle is ongoing, but unfortunately we're probably going to have to go ahead and wait to see the results of it. You know what, we'll play a couple more minutes here, guys. We'll let this battle finish up. I want to see who wins, too. It looks like we're going to lose it. And I should probably stop these guys. In fact, they're about to be attacked here. We're about to lose both of these guys. Yeah, so our levies are not doing good, doing very well against our troops. We lost 6,000 there despite the mountains. A big part of that was that he had a much better general there, guys. Yeah, significantly better. But these are our levies here, so it's not surprising they're getting beaten. We might want to bring more levies, though, because they do have a good size army over here with the 30,000, and they actually have a pretty good general as well. So it might behoove us to bring some more levies over here. It's not like we don't have the levies available. We do have one more army here that we could bring across. Not entirely necessary, of course, but the war score, man, the war score is pretty darn low. Now, part of that is because we haven't taken the war goal yet. So that would be here, which we're currently working on right now. We could, of course, just assault it, but I'm a little bit worried about our troop numbers, so we're not going to do that. We got these troops coming up over here to help, but yeah, we're clearly going to have to retreat all of our troops back here because these guys will be defeated as well. So while they're doing sieges, we'll have to restore our health, and yeah, I don't even know if all 3 of these armies combined could defeat them because these are all the levy armies and they're just, you know, they're not great. This is a legion and a levy combined. So yeah, we might have to bring the legion down, I think, since these guys are busy. Yeah, so once they finish up taking the capital, we'll have to probably bring them south to make sure that we continue to get victories here, guys, because we're looking at 2 defeats. One that just happened, and this will most definitely be a defeat as well. We also have some money to spend, so we're probably going to want to spend that. We still have the rebellion issue, which is very much present across our territory, so we're going to want to continue to build those theaters and temples. Though it has gotten better in this region. Take a look over here how the situation's going. Yeah, it's still kind of ticking down in several of these provinces here. Basically anywhere where we didn't go to the harsh treatment, we're still losing a lot of loyalty. So yeah, we're gonna have to deal with that. I'll deal with the trade routes too, and that'll help the situation. Deal with any trade routes we have out here that need to be set up, and we'll get some buildings constructed. Unfortunately, that is going to have to be the end of today's episode. Hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did, make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell, and leave a comment. I do hope to see you guys on the next episode, and thanks for watching.